Give the phone.
Today's episode of the program, the first episode for the week, the program The Law, the People and Governance here on Spectrum Television. Of course, this is the program that bridges the gap between the government and the people. It also explains the policies of government well to the people and of course takes back the feedback of the people to the government as well. All right, so already we know that come Saturday, we will elect a new president for Nigeria. And of course, that process has been entrusted into the hands of INEC officials to make that happen. And also the system of using the BVAS for the conduct of elections, according to be held on Saturday, that's the 22nd day of February 2023. Or 25th rather, a day of February 2023. Now, what are our expectations? Already we've had issues with beavers in the Osun polls, and of course that also is going to be for us. Already I said that Africa's biggest election will hold in February. Democratic expedition with 10 million new voters added to the voters roll. An estimated 95 million registered voters and 6,846 polling units distributed across 774 local government areas on the ballot for elections into 109 senatorial districts. 360 federal constituencies will be conducted against the backdrop of a new electoral law and innovations introduced by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to enhance electoral integrity and inspire workability, and of course the expectations of the people in the coming big day for all Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. So today let's take a look at that. What do we expect more about this? What do you expect? What are your expectations, and what are your fears as well? Well, today as usual on the program we are joined live by a lawyer who will be talking to us, a human rights lawyer, and we want to having you virtually on the last edition, but we had some network issues. Well, thank God you're here so you could actually talk to us. Professor Mahmood Yakubu has told us that BVAS has come to stay. Already we are seeing it as a game changer, but how much of the change to the just concluded Osun polls, where we had the issue of overvoting, and of course I don't also forget that the INEC spokesperson there came out to say that the results were not synchronized yet. That's why
the Electoral Act 2022, precisely section 47, national backing to the use of smart card readers and other technological device which the Commission may, in the exercise of their lawful duties, deploy for the purpose of elections. It's not only about deploying those technological devices. The intentions, the main aims of deploying those devices should be
actually.
Now, the INEC boss has assured Nigerians that elections will go on the 25th.
Free, fair and credible.
Very well. And he has also given Nigerians confidence that BVAS has come to stay and fair, credible process. That is one. Because some of us, we actually thought that with the use of BVAS, that the days of election rigging and manipulative processes in an electoral system must have been a thing of the past.
Does that have to do with taking
I wouldn't talk about that. I don't know if that actually happens through the doors of the court.
Okay.
But actually, let us talk about the process on the field as we are approaching on Saturday the 25th. Now, if the use of technological device like BVAS have been given legal backing, it is expected that the Commission should do advices the resultant effect of those below the standard of a free and credible elections. Talking about the issue of what happened in Osun, talks about overvoting. the act, the Electoral Act specifically talks about overvoting. But however, where there is an overvoting must be cancelled, and it will not affect the return of votes in other units where there was no element of overvoting. In still talking about the issue of Osun State, the tribunal cancelled the votes belonging to a particular party, one party, with the claims that those overvoting that happened in those areas was to the advantage or to the favor of a particular political party. How will INEC be able to manage the issue of overvoting? The law has provided for that. The Act has provided for factor in determining the result of the elections, whereby the number of accredited voter, or whereby the number of vote cast is higher than the number of accredited voters, polling unit must be cancelled. And when it is cancelled, another election be scheduled within 24 hours. That's what the Act says. That is if the commission, it has a clause, that is if the commission is not satisfied, or either satisfied that those cancelled votes will not substantially affect the result of the entire election. That is, if the commission is satisfied that the vote cancelled will not affect the result of the election, no more election will be conducted within 24 hours. But in their opinion, if they are dissatisfied that the elections cancelled in those units will affect substantially the announcement of the result, they will have to conduct
worthiness, in regards to, with respect to the attempts by some individuals.
Very well. INEC owes Nigerian just one duty,
which is
to conduct a free and fair elections for Nigeria. At this point, Nigerians' utmost assurances that there will be free and fair election. Let me take you down the memory lane a bit. In 1999, 2003, up to 2007, those electoral regimes were characterized majorly by political thuggery and other political vices, ballot box snatchings, gun running during political times, during election times. But you've seen that from 2019 up till now, let's talk about thuggery, ballot box snatching, gun running. Now, we are faced with the era of vote buying. If the presidency has done this much to ensure that even if there will be vote buying, because we cannot rule it out in totality, but it will be very...
So are you saying that, wow, somewhere, in some place there must have been vote buying somewhere, or it's not totally eliminated from the system?
I will answer that. Let me finish the first one.
No problem.
Now, if there is vote buying, at least that they have test run their machines, that the technology have been carefully and thoroughly test run, and as such, before the National Assembly had to give legal backing to the use of BVAS, they have given Nigerians confidence that it is in the best state of international best practices. Therefore, we do not want to hear any excuses from INEC whatsoever that tomorrow the BVAS wasn't working, that some people somewhere hacked into the system or the portal, and the result was anything happened to the result. We don't want to hear that. All we want to hear and see is the conduct of a very free and fair process that will give all political parties a level playing grounds. Let Nigerians, for the first time, let Nigerians choose who leads them. Nigerians are very much awakened to the problems facing this country, and we know where those problem stems from. It stems from the process of selecting those who govern the country. Therefore, Nigerians from all walks of life, they want to elect their leader. They are very much ready to elect their leader come the 25th of February. And we are waiting to see what INEC will do.
All right, so you skipped a question. Go ahead.
Okay. Please, the question again.
Okay, we talked about, you know, totally ruling
Vote
out,
buying.
yeah,
Okay,
vote buying.
Okay. Yes. This is Nigeria. I remember we are still in Africa. Even
So
some of
anything can happen.
Even some of the ills that the Western world, the Eastern world like Europe complains of is still within their pockets. They cannot totally eliminate it. So here in Nigeria, I wouldn't doubt, because Nigerians are very, very smart set of human beings. Of course, you know that. I wouldn't be surprised that already. I think I'm aware that some persons are writing names somewhere and collecting data somewhere and collecting account details of people and trying to do online transaction for voters. What is that? That is vote buying. So, in as much as we are in Nigeria.
Okay, no, let me talk about that. You know, okay, you said some people, you know, some people are collecting
Numbers,
details, account details,
yes.
on online. Well, can you verify that?
Well, during political season like this, not all the information at public space could be verified.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So we cannot totally say that vote buying will be eliminated in totality, but at least we are very much aware. We're looking at from the where things are right now. Everybody are complaining of having cash. Looking at the way things are, we can be rest assured that at least if there is vote buying, it will not be to the level that it would have been if the policy of the Naira redesign did not actually come in place. There are some politicians who never campaigned, who never did anything to show that they want to contest election. All they were doing was to stash billions of Naira in their homes and in different places, waiting for the 25th day of February 2003 to come for them to pay the citizens to get the vote. Of course, they have been doing this over the years, and it has been working for them. You know, they have systematically weaponized poverty to the extent that they don't owe any responsibility to the citizens anymore. They just know that with the ill-gotten money that have been stashed in their homes, on election day, they will come out with the money and buy your vote and become whatever they want to become. But with the situation of things right now, we can be rest assured that the situation will change. Things will change. Even if there will be vote buying, but it will be very minimal. Rachel, I can assure you that.
Oh, but you know that BVAS doesn't allow for the use of incidence form. Okay,
Yes.
I've seen in the previous elections
Yes,
now.
yes.
So failure to accreditation may likely mean, you know, inability to vote. Now, are you afraid that this may lead to a large scale of disenchantment?
Okay. The law specifically put it here. The process of voting election from section 37, 38, 39, 40 to 47 to 51, 53 up of the act talks about basically the process of voting. Now, what does the law say? An intended voter must be authenticated. His identity must be authenticated, must be verified by the BVAS. Now, there is no way an intended voter, can cast his vote without being verified by the BVAS. Now, what it therefore means is that the commissioner fixed the time of the election, which the law has also said the commission must stipulate that. You already know the venue for the election, which is your regular polling unit. Yes. So what you do is that if you want to vote in the election, you must go out to your polling unit on time. Be authentic. Let your identity be authenticated, be verified by the commission, by the electoral officers, and wait. When it is time to vote, you cast your vote. If you don't follow the process, automatically you'll be disenfranchised. Because I want to believe it was this issue that we are discussing now that actually amounted to, if at all there was overvoting, because since it is still within the appellate jurisdiction, it is still a subject matter of litigation, and of course it will be subjudicial to really talk much about that until the last court give their decision.
Verdict.
And Nigerians will now know, okay, there was overvoting in Osun State.
Okay.
So if actually there was overvoting, it was issues like this, where some intended voters don't get to their polling unit on time and they were not verified and they want to cast their vote. Somehow, maybe by the influence of their political parties or their political masters, and they were allowed to cast their votes without being verified. The implication is that the number of people that were accredited through the BVAS, you cannot have the same number of voters. You understand me?
Okay.
Yes. Those who were not accredited voted, and that is just the incidents where you have overvoting. Talking about incidents from, yes, it was actually one of the ways that politicians used in rigging elections.
How?
Yes, I'm very happy that there will be no more incidents from. The law has taken incidents from away and threw it into the gutters. Now, incidents from was a situation whereby you go and your name is not there. You know that the commission has given laid down rules which must be followed. Yes, few days to the election, you have to go to your polling unit and confirm from the register that will be pasted at your polling unit if your name and your passport, your face is actually there. You know that you are an eligible voter, you are going to vote. Now, what happens is that some persons whose name did not actually appear on the voters register, and even those whose that the BVAS couldn't capture their details, were allowed to vote, and it was through the incidence form that their data got in and they could vote. Now, politicians will manufacture whatever from anywhere that they like and bring in people, sometimes those who have already voted, those who are underage, and bring them, and they will manipulate the incidence form and they will vote. So now the fact is, if your data doesn't show on the
even under the watch of INEC,
of course, even under the watch of, I am telling you, officials of INEC most times they don't actually use, because of human capacity. Yes, they do not actually have enough human capacity to use. So they deploy, like now, some months ago now, the people who were filling form to work with INEC, and they will even use coppers. So by the time you are taken to a copper and some other persons who are taken to a particular area to go and conduct election, the politicians in that area will go and influence them with some bags of money, and they will collect and do the biddings of those politicians. So even under the watch of these people, they do all sort of things. Even I am not alleging, even the police are being paid. Even the police that is sent to a polling unit to also.
What are your proof? If you say you're not allergic.
Of course, I'm always on the field.
Okay, well, just a moment, okay, because this is really getting interesting. I'd like to inform the people that this program is participatory as always, so you can be part of this program by calling the number on your screen. Feel free to join the conversation by calling the number on your TV screen. You can send a text message, and of course you can send us a WhatsApp message or put a call across to us. Well, this is the program, The Law, the People and Governance, here on Spectrum Television, and my name is Rachel David White. With me, I'm being joined by Barrister Martins Ukwe. Welcome back. Sure, I had to, put us on a pause. So go ahead. Yeah, we're talking about the issue of, police being paid.
Yes, of course. All the officials who are involved in the process of election on election day, who are being dispatched to different polling units, politicians have their way of.
Okay, there are chances that they might be, easily catched with money or something.
Of course, that is the only apparatus, that's the only instrument that they use in enticing them. The politicians have a way of manipulating the process through these officials. They will give them money and have their way and do their those officials.
But you know, that was in the past, like you said.
That was in the past. But I am telling you, as we are approaching Saturday, I don't think that if the process have really changed through the laws, that the human beings involved have really changed that much. Yes, remember here we are talking about human beings.
Of course.
So I do not really think, I am not convinced that the human beings who will be sent to different polling units across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT have really changed to the, and it might actually be worse in terms of the human beings sent, because you know the scarcity of cash these days, everybody are complaining lack of money. So if they are actually influenced with some little cash, they might collect the money. Okay, let me use this opportunity to sound this to my fellow citizens of Nigeria. Please, like I said, we are very much ready to have a free and fair process of electing, especially the new president of Nigeria. If I am not, or we are not interested in any other position, we are very much interested in the position of the president who becomes the president of Nigeria. Because the way things are, we cannot allow things to continue this way. Therefore, let us not allow the officials who will be sent to our respective polling units to become a hindrance to the progress of Nigeria, to become a cog in the wheel of the progress of Nigeria. Let us also be a watchdog during the elections. Let us not allow those people to allow the politicians have their way. Let the will of the people for the first time.
Wow. For the first time.
Yes.
Well, talking about, concerns, people are so much concerned with electing the president and probably the governor as well. What is this voter apathy people have about, elections in the local level? Let's say from the councillor, even the local government, different, at the grassroots, there is this voter lack of interest, but rather people are so much interested in putting the president and the governor. But just before we go into that, let's take a call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Madam. Well done.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Isa calling from Bauchi.
All right, Isa, go ahead.
Please, my own take is, first of all, let me put it very clear that I really appreciate what the guest is doing in the studio.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Encouraging voters to come out and exercise their franchise. And after that, as the current president was saying during his campaign all through before making it, that let us go out, vote, wait there, and make sure that our votes are counted and take over to the collection center, so that at least this time around we can have a president who can look into our problems. Really, in Nigeria, has enough problems that can take us to. But if we get somebody who can manage them, God will come into our side and we will laugh at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Isa. Thank you for calling. Your contribution is highly appreciated. Well, don't forget to put a call across to us on 0704-541-7707. We're back to the guests in the studio.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Okay, so we're talking about the issue of voter apathy. You have people, like you said, they're so much interested in voting in the president and the governor rather than, people at the grassroots level. But just before we go there again, let's just take a call. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Canada. We magana daw.
Hello?
No, G, how's
Okay, I don't know if our caller is using English, but I don't understand Hausa. So please, when you're calling us, that is the one language we really understand is English, so we can communicate, and other people listening to the program from different parts of the country and outside Nigeria can also understand what we're saying. Your contributions are well appreciated and welcome, so just put a call across via the number on your TV screen, and of course you can send us a text message or a WhatsApp message as well. Back to you, Barrister.
All right, thank you very much. Now, one of the reasons that we actually have voter apathy at the local level is low level of political education. Now, that is one. Number two, and I think the most important factor is the fact that there is the local government administration have been bastardized. The law set out 3 tiers of government.
Okay.
The national, the state, and the local government. But the same amendment of that law of the Constitution.
It's like we're deviating a bit, right?
Okay.
But it's important. No, I you know, we moved to voter apathy, but it's important because
Very well.
right now we have people who are ready to just vote the president and the governor and of course go back to their houses.
Okay. But that same law have balkanized the local government administration. All right. Let's go back. Let it not be as if we are deviating totally from the discussion of the day. Now, political education have not been given its priority, have not been given its right of place. That's one. Two, you know that Nigeria is still test running nascent democracy, having just woken up from the slums of perennial military interregnomes throughout the years since the 15th of January 1966, when the first coup struck. It was just until 1999 that the Abdulsalam Abubakar-led military junta decided to hand over power to civilians. And so many people have given up on democracy in Nigeria. But now, since it seems like democracy has come to stay, people have started reawakening their political consciousness. I can assure you, these particular elections, there will be no voter apathy.
It's truly going to be a game changer.
It's truly going to be a game changer. I can assure you there will be no voter apathy because the political gladiators involved have really done a good job. They have gone down to the grassroots to work. And you know, before now, it used to be a 2-horse race.
Let's take a call. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Mr. Tete. I'm calling from Akampa.
All right, go ahead.
I appreciate your guest speaker, the barrister.
Thank you very much.
If they have spoken somebody. I want to say a little bit on that area. He was saying that when the INEC employs staff like the youth service, the coppers,
The ad hoc staff.
it is because these people are not well paid. That is why people use this money to influence them. So it will be better if the coppers and the officials are well paid. They can shun any other money that comes in. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. Really appreciate your contribution. All right, keep the calls coming, and of course, send us a text message or a WhatsApp message via the number displayed on your TV screen. Well, if you check our time, you know, we're limited. Let's talk about the issue of the technicalities, understanding the technicalities of the system, how it works. So the technicalities of the system, okay, is not really understood by some electorates. I wouldn't say all. So how would you rate INEC's awareness in its usage, the usage of beavers and everything around it?
Okay. Now, it is not actually the duty of INEC, though we have the director of INEC, INEC's director of voters education, Festus Okoye, yes, has been doing a great work. But INEC can't do it all by itself. They can't get to the grassroots, to the locals, to really educate them on the technicalities. But however, the technicalities are not that technical. It is as simple as A, B, and C. Now, once you approach your polling unit with your PVC, your permanent voter's card, the officials will guide an intended voter on what to do. Therefore, it is not that technical on how to go about in voting and casting your vote. There is nothing much about that process. It is all about following the process that you'll be shown from the first step to the last step. It is nothing too technical about that. It is, after all, it is not the voter that will verify himself and do everything.
Okay.
It is just, yes, the officials will do everything.
That question has been answered. All right, so right now we're still welcoming calls. The number is displayed on your TV screen. So join the conversation by putting a call across to us or send us a text message or a WhatsApp message. And we are taking a look at the workability of the BVAS. And of course, you know, the elections are around the corner, a few days away from now. It's on Saturday, as a matter of fact. So how prepared are you? All right, good evening. Thanks for joining the show.
Good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Abdul. I'm calling from.
All right, go ahead and talk to us.
The barrister, God will bless you there.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, we do all what you are saying. We are watching you and we are seeing everything. And then this is the type of people we want. Came outside and tell the world that this world, the people, the masses are facing. Yeah, that's the kind of people we want. You are a young man. Then once we are hearing you, that even that journalist where you sit down with, then with the politician, they are the same. They are the best of the same feather. Whatever, there's no any polling unit where you go see journalists there. All the whole thing where you are saying, what you are, even the journalists, he said they are collecting the money from the politicians. Yes, all of them are collecting the money. Once the police is collecting, even the NY people they carry go there, they are collecting money. Yeah, are they staff? Yeah, and the politicians. Oh, they did. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too for joining the conversation. Keep the calls coming. The numbers are on your TV screen, or the number is on your TV screen. Send us a text message or a WhatsApp message or put a call across to us. Okay, meanwhile, INEC announced yesterday that core members who are ad hoc staffs will be allowed to, you know, man the beavers. Now, should we still, you know, concerning the fact that first you've talked about okay, our caller talked about the issue of not being well paid. That's why, you know, they are easily enticed by money. And this has also, you know, struck the fear, you know, some sort of fear in us that, oh, if these people who are ad hoc staffs are not well paid, so somebody can easily, you know, a politician can easily say, here, I have this for you, do something for me. And these are the same people who are manning the beavers and other, you know, machines there. So what are our expectations? We are expecting a free, fair and credible elections. You know, should there be fear, or we should still have that high hopes? But just before we answer that question, let's attend to a call. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us. All right, please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a good flow. All right, so when you're calling us, please ensure that you turn down the volume of your TV set. You can't talk and hear yourself at the same time. It's not going to allow a free flow of, you know, the conversation. So back to the question.
All right. Personally, it's my candid opinion. I do not buy that idea that the coppers, those who be manning the machines or the technological devices that will be deployed for the elections are not well paid, and that is the only reason why they have to subject themselves to the manipulations of politicians by being enticed with money. No, I don't subject myself to that idea. No matter how much you pay human beings are naturally greedy. It's not about the money that they are being paid. How much are they expected to be paid? Are they expecting to be paid 10 million? Even if they are paid 10 millions on their election, they will still receive money from politicians and try to do the biddings of politicians. Now, the point is, it's not about how much they are being paid. Citizens are the problem. We are the problem. If officials are being sent to your polling units, and you yourself, you are convinced that you have not been bought. You have not been bought. Your vote have not been bought. You are not being paid to vote. Then you should serve as a watchdog, as an eagle eye to the officials who are coming to conduct the elections. Of course, the law has taken. In fact, I'm in love with this Electoral Act of 2022. The drafters have done a very good job. There is no lacuna. I'm yet to see a lacuna in that law, especially with regards.
Keep studying it.
Especially with regards to the conduct of elections.
Okay.
Because the law has gone the extent of putting credibility machinations on ground. Now, if the officials are trying to manipulate the process, it is the duties of the citizens, the voters, to resist them. But where the citizens have sold their vote, they have been bought. They themselves, they can't say no to whatever the officials are doing. Please, for the avoidance of doubting what tomorrow holds, economically, politically, and other sectors, let us be our brother's keeper on Saturday the 25th. Do not sell your vote. When you don't sell your vote, you will not allow the official to be bought for him to do the biddings of the politician. There is nobody that goes to election unit, a polling unit, sells his vote, and can still stand as a watchdog to the officials. Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can take some calls. The number is on your TV screen. I'm sorry if we couldn't take your calls while we were talking, but keep the calls coming, or you can send a text message or a WhatsApp message. Just join the conversation. All right, so I'm still trying to take us back, because Saturday is already around the corner.
Of course.
Now, the Osun elections was an eye-opener, okay?
Very well.
Despite the fact that we expected, as INEC said, that the beavers are credible, effective, and, trustworthy. One might be wondering what really went wrong. Any chances that there might be a reoccurrence of what happened in Osun State?
Of course, there is every possibility that the issue of Osun, because after the elections, even up to the swearing in of the incumbent governor.
Let's just take this call. Hello, good evening. Oh, sorry, we lost that call.
We were not hearing about overvoting, not until the tribunal came up with their verdict and said there was overvoting in Osun State. Okay,
while you're also, trying to take us back, we could have reoccurrences now. In order for us not to have, you could just chip in what we might do, because of time, in order to avoid such issues. But let's take this call. Right. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining the show.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your TV. I didn't say drop the call. Just turn down the volume of your TV set and go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Augustine, so I'm calling from Kaduna State.
All right, go ahead and contribute.
I want to talk about the beavers. You see, that beavers really, there's going to be a problem.
Why do you say so?
Yes. And by the grace of God, I'm one of the POs in the last election. And the card reader was working perfectly. But there are some people they bribe at the background to manipulate that polling unit. And when they came, they already, my assistant, they have already manipulated the guy from outside. So when he came, he was, when he accredited 1, 2, 3, he will be saying, card reader is not working, card reader is not working. Then I got another, I collected it from his hand. And I was accrediting people, it was working. Small time I gave it back to him again. Small time he will work and say the card reader is not working. The issue is that these beavers will work perfectly, but at the end of the day, you will hear beavers malfunctioning. It is deliberate. It's going to be deliberate.
Okay.
Especially that the opponent, they know that that place does not belong to them. They are the area, they cannot win the vote at that polling unit.
Okay, Mr.
They
Augustine.
will now come and use people to manipulate. That's what's going to happen.
Mr. Augustine, are you listening
Yes,
to me?
yes.
Okay, in order to
I'm listening.
avoid this issue from repeating itself, at least you are being there, you've had an experience. What do you think should be done to avoid a reoccurrence of such issue?
Yes. The only way we can come out of this is when everybody have that patriotism. Whether you have money, it feed you or it not feed you, you have to work through your conscience, the officials. Whether you are NYC or other drug staff, I pray that let us be patriotic. We will look at the future of Nigeria. Look at the present and look at the future. Then whoever entices us, no matter how plain that person is, we should not fall to that trap. That's the only start.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Augustine. Thank you for the contribution.
Thanks so much.
Back to you. All right, so we have just 3 minutes to end the show.
All right, please, I want to thank the last caller.
Okay.
He has really made a very substantial contribution. Yes, like I was trying to say the same thing he just said. For us not to have the issue of overvoting.
And you know, INEC also said overvoting, they didn't blame the issue on beavers, but, you know, human capacity.
Now, the law is very clear. Wherever the beavers is not working, election in, please, Nigerians should listen to this. Wherever the beavers is not working in your unit, please, there should be no election in that unit. The law says that election should be rescheduled in the next 24 hours. If the officials in that area are not satisfied that the announcement of the result collected so far will affect or will not affect.
What if the officials are satisfied but the people are not?
It is a decision of the electoral officials that should stand. But where the beavers is not working, there should be no election in that place, please. That is exactly what the law says. And we are going to conduct this election, please. Officials should conduct this election in accordance with the laid down provisions of the Act. Nobody comes out to conduct election based on his own knowledge. It is what the law said that should be taken into cognizance, and that's what should be put into practice.
Okay. All right. So, well, we've talked about, you know, issue of reoccurrences and how to get away from them. In just 1 minute or less than 1 minute, could you just tell Nigerians, I know you've been advising them while you're talking, but what's your word for, because we may not have this setting together again until Saturday. So just tell them what you wish and an advice for Nigerians.
Please, this is my candid advice to Nigerians as we are approaching the presidential and national assembly elections on the 25th. Please do not sell your vote. Do not sell your. The law says that vote buying and vote selling is a serious criminal offense in Nigeria. When you are caught, you will be prosecuted. And it's not only about the punishment, the accompanying punishment. It's about you selling the future of Nigeria. If we can't get it right in this 2023 election, if we can't get it right on Saturday, it will take Nigerians a whole lot of years in economic woes, in hardship. We will be groaning. We will have to pay it through our nose for the next couple of years for us to get it right. So I think Saturday should be a day where all Nigerians should look at it for a purposeful reflection, to reflect on the economy, the education, the political system, the industrial sector, to reflect on our entire life as a people and collectively change the process, change the system where we have found ourselves. I don't want to talk about the system that we have found ourselves. We have all seen how the system is. It has touched our bones to the marrows. It has touched our blood. Please vote rightly. Let us get it right on 25th. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister. It's been, you know, a good time talking about this issue with you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so our guest in the house has been human rights lawyer, Barrister Martin Zukpe, who has done justice to, of course, the topic we had for today. Meanwhile, Saturday is very close. Vote wisely, vote responsibly, and of course, avoid void vote by voting, putting your thumbprint into the box, inside the box. And trust we're going to do this again tomorrow, same time, only on Spectrum Television. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channels, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. My name is Rachel David White. Good evening.